The population of Earth is 7 Arabs. A human body has 70,000 Arab cells. Every cell contains DNA. When the DNA is disturbed, the cell starts growing tremendously, resulting in terrible disease of cancer. The 200 types of cancers can manifest themselves at any point in life, which may lead to untimely death. Every year, 1.5 crore new people are diagnosed with cancer. The patients break down physically as well as financially. Modern homeopathy is the best way of treatment that can successfully control cancer. It can remove you from the clutches of cancer. Let us see how, in the modern era of health, modern homeopathy, the safety of life.
Hello, I'm Anushree Karandikar and I welcome you all in this special program of Modern Era of Health. By using the modern homeopathy's curative line of treatment, many patients have overcome the deadly diseases and now lead a healthy and normal life. The credit for this goes to the research that goes behind modern homeopathy. We discuss about this all. For the past few episodes, we have been discussing the topic of cancer. And we are also seeing how effectively modern homeopathy is working against it. Let's talk about it today too. And for that, we have with us CEO of Modern Homeopathy, Dr. Vijay Kumar Mane sir. Sir, welcome to the show.
Hello.
So like I said earlier, we have chosen the sensitive topic of cancer. We have been discussing about it for the past few episodes. We saw few types of blood cancer. We also spoke about esophageal cancer. We have seen how effectively modern homeopathy is treating it. We have heard patients themselves, and we have also seen how the patients are taking a step towards leading a very normal life. So now that we've discussed about that, I wanted to take the subject further. I wanted to talk about another type of cancer, cervical cancer, a cancer that's mostly seen in women. What will you tell us about that?
Today we are going to talk about two types of cancers. The cervical cancer and the ovarian cancer. Ovaries, the organ carrying eggs. We shall talk about both of them.
Okay.
The cervical cancer is seen most oftenly after the mid-age, like say about post 40 years.
Okay.
More specifically, it occurs after the menopausal period. That's cervical cancer.
Okay.
And ovarian cancer happens in the mid-age, post 35. It may occur in any woman. But I have treated patients that were young, way younger actually. Ovarian cancer has manifested itself in women from say 18 to 20 to 35 years of age are observed.
Oh. Now when we talk about cervical cancer or the ovarian cancer, are women supposed to take any specific care for the same? I mean, if there's something we can do, like they say prevention is better than cure. So is there a way we women can avoid this type of cancer?
Before that, let's have a look at its reasons. If we look at the reasons, it says that cervical cancer is more common in unmarried women.
Okay.
Secondly, this cancer is common in women who have multiple sexual partners. And it is also common in women who use excessive contraceptive pills.
Okay.
Same is the case with ovarian cancer. All the three reasons apply here too. Not marrying is also one reason. Or even late marriage is a main reason for that.
Okay.
See now, all these things are in our hands. Like for unmarried women, they should get married. Rather than late marriages, marry at the right age. One should avoid use of contraceptive pills and avoid having multiple sexual partners too. Now these precautions can be easily taken. If you do this, you might be able to prevent this type of cancer, for sure.
Sure. Like you said, the chances of having this type of cancer is high with multiple sexual partners or multiple pregnancies. Now, if you look at today's lifestyle, rather today's life structure, the live-in relation pattern has increased a lot. So the things that you just said are mainly rather commonly seen in metro cities. How do women go about it?
We'll see that.
I mean, it's not easy. Like you said, that one should avoid contraceptive pills as much as possible, or one should not have multiple sexual partners. So if you think about it this way, how do we actually take care about the entire situation? How do we deal with it?
Now, if I have to give answer to your question, I will tell it a bit differently.
Sure.
Gautam Buddha tells us what he said about a mid-path. He says don't go too left, neither too right.
Go straight.
Midway is the better option.
Neutral. Yeah.
Take this midway. You will find the answers. Find solutions to your problems automatically.
Sure. We get it. You have tried to give a good message through this. But if we look at this seriously, obviously considering what you just said, like you told us the reasons. But apart from that, how do women actually judge symptoms of this? Like if we talk about breast cancer, then self-examination is the best option that they have today. And the women are aware of this. But how do you think women should judge this type of cancer? I mean, how do they know that there's a possibility of them having this type of cancer?
First of all, after the age of 35, one should get regular health checkup.
Okay.
This is first thing. Secondly, if any abnormal symptoms are seen, correct?
Which means?
What we call as mid-period spotting. Means if you are bleeding between two menstrual cycles,
Okay.
or you have menstrual irregularities. See, we are talking about cervical cancer.
Yes, cancer, yes.
So if this is the case, if pains are there, or most of the time post-coital bleeding, which means bleeding post-sexual intercourse. If it pains, after the sexual intercourse, if the opening of the uterus or the vaginal area pains, then you should take it very seriously. The patient needs to take it seriously. And one should get all medical examinations done is what I feel.
You spoke about medical examinations. So do we need to undergo similar tests for these types of cancers too?
The tests are always similar. One, you should get a CT scan done. Or let's say even you can detect a cervical cancer in sonography too.
Okay, okay.
But CT scan is better.
Okay, okay.
Then there is a Pap Smear Test. It's where they take a smear of the vagina or the opening of the uterus. At times we can see cancerous cells here too.
Okay.
Thirdly, you can go for CT scan. And fourth option is biopsy. Through these tests, we can find a clear picture. What we just spoke was for cervical cancer. Now, if we talk about the ovarian cancer, it is not diagnosed in the early stage.
True, true.
Till the tumor isn't big enough. We cannot determine that. Rather, the patient too cannot conclude that she might have such kind of cancer or tumor. What happens mostly is that it's pretty common in all cancers. Diagnosis of the cancer is pretty late.
Exactly.
As we do not get regular medical checkups done, well, why would a regular person think about it if there are hardly any symptoms?
That's right.
So basically, the diagnosis is always late. Now, in ovarian cancer, the swelling on the stomach, very often the disease goes in later stage. Also, the patient suffers from ascites.
Ascites,
That's
yes.
the main symptom of ovarian cancer. In case of ascites, the disease has generally spread.
It's spread everywhere.
It has spread in omentum region, or it spreads in peritoneum section.
True.
So the swelling on the stomach, water, well, it's pretty late by then. But that's when you understand that I have ovarian cancer. And secondly, the pain in that region. Apart from that, the vague symptoms like vomiting, loose stools, or abdominal discomfort. These two should help us to understand what's going on.
True. I mean, if we repeatedly see these vague symptoms.
Or at times bleeding too. Most menopausal bleeding. Or spotting between periods. If these things arise, we can say that they may be symptoms of ovarian cancer. At time weight loss and not feeling hungry. Now we see this is a common symptom in all cancers.
True, it's
Loss
common,
of
it's
appetite, not feeling hungry, and weight loss. These are common symptoms.
We have looked at the symptoms and also its tests. Like I said, I want to discuss with you about cervical cancer as well as the ovarian cancer. We also have patients who will share their experience, but after the break. Welcome you all to Modern Era of Health post this break. We are discussing about cervical cancer and ovarian cancer. We will now listen to the experience of a patient who fought this type of cancer.
Due to personal reasons, the identity of our patient will not be disclosed.
I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Before that, I had a lot of trouble with my menstrual cycle. My age was 49. I was suffering a lot. My relatives told me that this might be due to menopause. Then there was allergic reactions. Don't know if I had eaten anything wrong. But I had blackish spots and itchiness. So I visited a skin specialist. I took her treatment for a couple of times, but it never got better. Then I realized that a tumor had descended down my vaginal area. So I immediately went to a gynec. After checkup, she told me She told me immediately to get biopsy done. I went under a blood test and few other tests. All tests and reports determined that it was a cervical cancer. So it was suggested that I should immediately go for chemotherapy. So we were thinking about what we could do because we had heard that chemotherapy is very painful.
In March 2015, my wife was diagnosed with cervical and ovarian cancer. Then the doctor who was treating her had suggested us to go for a chemo, later followed by operation. But by then I had heard Sir's interview on Sam TV. So we decided to first visit Mane Sir, take homeopathy for a month, undergo his line of treatment. And if the treatment is going good, then we can say no to the chemotherapy. This was my intent when I first came to visit Mane Sir.
Then my husband suggested that we should take treatment from Dr. Vijay Kumar Mane.
Sir really supported me and he told me that whatever this is, it will be all clear by the end of the year. I said to Sir that I need to know that your medicines are working. But Sir said, okay, get a sonography done after a month and then you will realize. But after my wife started taking the medicines, say about 10-15 days later, I could see the positiveness in her, just in 10-15 days. So when we took the tests after a month, I could see the cancer reduce. So I showed the reports to the doctor and he told me that we are on the right track.
It was simply unbelievable that just in a span of 2 months, the tumor had reduced so fast. But I was still doing all my chores at home regularly because I had college-going kids, their timings and all, but I rested well and followed what doctor had told me to take the medicines every 2 hours, that too in liquid form. I felt good. Rather, I felt way better. I was happy chemotherapy wasn't required. I mean, homeopathy is also a very good option. I mean, I had heard about it, but I never thought that it would be so effective in the treatment of such a big disease. And we hear people suffering from cancer. Why don't they turn to homeopathy? That's something I started feeling now.
My wife had tumors in the cervix as well as ovaries. The tumor in the cervix completely vanished with the medications. The tumor was 4 by 4 by 4 centimeters. It completely vanished. And the tumor in the ovary, which was 10 by 9 by 8 centimeters. According to the latest sonography reports, now it only measures 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters. And doctor says that this tumor will go with further medication too. My wife had excellent results with this homeopathy. I feel that every other patient who suffers from cancer should visit our doctor so that they too can experience the benefits of this treatment the way we did. If you go by the allopathic treatment and do the chemo and go for a surgery, well, then it's very hard for the patient. The patient suffers a lot. But Dr. Mane's medicines do not cause any pain to the patient. The patient can take it easily just sitting at home and can lead a normal life. I can tell by my wife's experience. One can do all of his or her everyday chores too. The patient does not need to go out anywhere and the patient faces no trouble. Now my wife leads a very normal life.
In the bite that we just saw, we could see how miraculously there was a positive effect of modern homeopathy in the condition of the cervical and ovarian cancer of the patient. We are going to take a review of the same through patient's reports.
On 18th March 2015, post excruciating pain in the stomach, the experts checked the patient. According to the reports, the patient was diagnosed with cervical as well as ovarian cancerous tumors. A cervical cancer tumor was 3.9, 4.5, 3.9 centimeters, while her ovarian cancer tumor was 9.4, 8.5, 9.5 centimeters. At that time, she had swelling on her stomach, loss of appetite, weakness and immense pain. The patient could not move around. She was completely bedridden. She was given options of surgery, radiation and chemotherapy, but she turned her back to these options and started undergoing modern homeopathy treatment. She could immediately see the results of modern homeopathy. The tests done on 20th April 2015 showed reduction in the size of cancerous tumors. Her cervical cancer tumor reduced to 4.5, 3.4 centimeters, while her ovarian cancer tumor was 9.4, 7.8, 5.1 centimeters. Her pain was relieved and she was not bedridden anymore. She could move around normally. The reports done on 19th May 2015 showed immense reduction in tumor sizes. Her cervical cancer tumor was now 3.2-2.9 centimeters, while her ovarian cancer tumor was 6, 4.4 and 4 centimeters. In the next 4 months, her cervical tumor vanished completely. The patient gained back her confidence. Plus, there was a great improvement in patient's general health. She continued with modern homeopathy. Over the next year, the cancer tumor reduced by 99%. The reports done on 8th February 2016 proved this. Today, the patient leads a very normal life. She now does not require chemotherapy, radiation or surgery. This was possible without any side effects, only due to modern homeopathy.
We have just heard the patient speak. We have seen her reports. We have literally seen how treatment of modern homeopathy has pushed back the illness of this patient. What exactly was this case and how did modern homeopathy help her with this? We will discuss this with Sir in detail. But before that, it's time for a break. I welcome you all in the special program of Modern Era of Health post this break. So before we went on break, the experience that we heard, well, the patient had both types of cancers and you treated them with homeopathy, and the results we saw post-treatment, we saw the reports. There has been immense improvement in it. What will you tell us about it? How challenging was this case for you?
Let's talk from the beginning. Cervical cancer and ovarian cancer, for these both cancers, what treatment is available in conventional line of treatment? We'll see that. In the cervical cancer, the patient is generally treated with radiation.
Okay.
The radiation gives some survival period to the cancer patient.
True.
Or it is also seen that post-radiation, the disease starts spreading in the surrounding areas.
Okay.
Taking radiation is rather painful. 30 to 33 radiations are given, or at times 35 radiations are given. Brachytherapy is also given. It is a strong radiation.
Yes.
This is very painful to patient, these radiations. Now if we look in the ovarian cancer, what happens here? The element which is known as CA-125 shoots up.
Yes.
The level of CA-125 is very high. This is first thing. Secondly, water starts accumulating in the stomach.
Yes.
It swells. Vomiting and other abrupt symptoms
True.
are seen. Here in the conventional line of treatment, the solution is to take chemotherapy, reduce the size of the tumor, and then opt for the surgery. Most of the times, hysterosalpingo-oophorectomy, a surgery that removes the uterus, ovaries, and fallopian
It's
tubes.
removed, yes.
Now, patients find this treatment painful, expensive, and troublesome. We do not opt for any such ways in our line of treatment,
Oh,
neither in ovarian cancer nor in cervical cancer.
true.
The patient whose bite we just saw, this patient had both cancers,
True,
cervical
true.
cancer as well as ovarian
Plus
cancer.
ovarian, yes.
The size of cervix cancer was 3.9 centimeter into 4.6 centimeter into 3.9 centimeter. That's how big tumor it
That
was.
was big, yeah.
The ovarian cancer was 9.4 centimeter into 8.5 centimeter into 9.5 centimeter.
That's really big tumor.
That's 761 cubic centimeter of cancer tumor. Right. Approximately after 3 months of our treatment, the patient felt better from first month of itself.
True.
The reports post 3 months of the treatment shows that the tumor of cervix was completely
Oh
vanished.
my god, nice.
And now, post 7 months of treatment, we saw 42 cubic centimeter of tumor still remains in ovaries.
It's gone, yeah.
Cervix tumor is vanished. Now, when the patient first came to us, well, in reality, the patient did not come to us. Her husband came to us. You can even watch it in the interview. He had told us then that the patient is bedridden and cannot even get up because of the swelling on the stomach. And she can't walk.
True.
The patient was leading an unbearable life. That is what we were told. They got the reports, we saw the reports, then we started the medicines. And dramatically,
True.
after 1.5 months treatment, patient started walking.
Nice.
By the end of second month, she could go to the market.
Great.
She said so in the interview also.
Yes, she said that.
And today she lives a very normal life. We saw that the tumor has reduced so much. And in coming months,
It will reduce.
Cervix cancer has vanished already. And this is difference between conventional treatment and modern homeopathy treatment. And I can tell this with immense pride that
Definitely.
even in such cases, without hospitalization, without chemotherapy, without radiation, without surgery, we are able to do it.
Yes, this was a huge experience and this was indeed a very critical case. But just with homeopathy treatment, like you said earlier, she was able to lead a completely normal life.
I forgot to tell you one thing.
Yes,
the patient
please.
was suffering from ascites. Means she has
Yes,
water in her
water.
stomach. Even that water was gone in month or two. She started walking.
True.
This is a sign that the water in stomach is no more after 2
So
months
you
of
did
treatment.
not have to remove it.
We did not have to remove it without chemotherapy, radiation, surgery. We did it.
And I think it's not wrong to say that that is the winning stroke of modern homeopathy. We're talking about cancer, we spoke about cervical cancer, and I also want to talk to you about uterine cancer. But today you guided us so well on this topic, and for that, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's call it a day in this special program of New Era of Health. See you in next episodes with new patients, their experiences, and talk about treatments by modern homeopathy. Thank you.
Give a missed call on the numbers displayed below for advice and guidance. 7038 833881 and 7038 833882. For counseling and guidance regarding modern homeopathy, contact our centers at Dadar, Karwa, Dhankavdi, Pimpri Chinchwad, Mapsa, Madgaon, Nashik, Aurangabad, Kolhapur, Nanded, Nagpur and Solapur. Contact numbers 9730 339 009 and 9372 728 009. Toll free number 1800 121 8009. Website modernhomeopathy.co.in. Email ID info@modernhomeopathy.co.in and modernhomeopathy8009@gmail.com.